lot of questions from you about living in Korea and everything that goes into it, and that includes cost of living. So I decided to record literally every time that I made a purchase for an entire week and kind of average it out to give you an idea of what the average week might be, as well as what the average month might be. And I think I'm a good in-between person. There are definitely people who spend a lot less than me, but there are definitely people who spend a lot more than me. And also, this isn't going to be really helpful if you're a tourist. This is mainly aimed at students or people who are working here who are gonna have kind of a routine and it's just their daily life, whereas when you're a tourist you're probably gonna want to spend money on buying different souvenirs and stuff like that. So yeah, this is for people who are trying to make a life here, get through their day. Here we go. I'm going to talk about just the general price of things at the end, so I will put the time marker here if you want to skip that. But if not, we're just going to head straight into my week. And I started on a Wednesday, so please don't hate me if that bothers anybody. But yeah, we're going Wednesday to Wednesday. Let's go. So my Monday through Friday, because I have a full-time job, is pretty much identical. There's very little change my Monday through Friday, and I think that if you live here you will get one of those routines too. That being said, prepare for a lot of repetition for my weekdays. So Wednesday, if you follow me on any social media, you probably know that I start every single day with a slice of toast and some peanut butter on top. I don't know why, that's what does it for me literally every day. So I'm just gonna add those all in the beginning. I usually buy a loaf of bread which has 10 slices, and that is 2,300 won, which means that about a week I'm spending 1,600 won, which is great. So I will add that up here. And also my peanut butter cost me about 3,200 won, which means that I did some math and I came up with it cost me about 1,800 per week. So yeah, we'll just say 1,800, it's easier. So I start off by taking the subway to work, and since it is hump day, I bought myself a coffee. Then for lunch, I had a tuna kimbap, which is pretty much what I always have, so prepare to hear that a lot. And my company actually has a lot of snacks, so I do tend to steal a lot of little snacks throughout the day. And then this day was a little bit weird. It actually changed my schedule, made my week a little bit more expensive, but also made my week a lot more fun. I actually took the subway to Garosugil and I met up with a friend who was actually at one of my New York meetups. It was amazing to just sit and talk to her. I swear we're like soulmates, but we're both pescatarians, so we decided to get salads. And salads are quite expensive in Korea. So my salad was 11,500. So I got that, and then afterwards we went to a cafe to talk some more, and we ended up splitting a bread that was 4,300 won, and then we also both got teas. And for tea lovers, I've got bad news. Tea's really expensive here. The tea was 4,800 won. Little expensive night, but it really uplifted me and was great. And then I just took the bus home. Thursday was super similar. I had my toast, took the subway, I had a triangle kimbap, and then I bought 2 huge apples for 4,000 won, so 2,000 each. And after work, I actually walked home, so that was free. Friday was super the same. Toast, subway, triangle kimbap. I had my other apple, and I took the Mall bus home, which is smaller, which means it's a little bit cheaper. And then I stopped at the grocery store. So in America, I love to cook, but just something about my apartment and the fact that I have a mini fridge and just no counter space, I am so uninspired. So I usually make a lot of pasta, and I just love tomato sauce. So I picked up some pasta for less than $1, some pasta sauce, which was quite expensive, and then some broccoli and some pumpkin. So I went home and I made some spaghetti with sauce, and I had a bit of frozen spinach left over, so I mixed that in and went to sleep. Saturday this week was a little bit weird because I really like to be out of the house. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything for the day if I've just stayed inside. But if you watch my previous video, you know that I did actually spend the whole day at home cleaning. So I basically just had toast, and then I made a tuna sandwich, which was actually actually really good. I haven't made like a tuna sandwich in a long time with toasted bread. But in the afternoon, I was reading. I had finished cleaning and I was just sitting on my couch reading, and I just got so stir crazy. I needed to be out of my house for at least an hour. So I went to a cafe near my house, and that cost me 3,800 won. But it was nice. I like sat outside in the perfect weather, reading my book, drinking this iced green tea latte. You win some, you lose some. Then I went home and I made more spaghetti with sauce, and then I roasted some pumpkin in olive oil. Perfect. Sunday was a lot more fun. I was actually invited by my friend to take a yoga class at her cafe / yoga studio. So that was actually free, and I'm not going to add that to the total because I typically would not have done that if I hadn't been invited. So I did take the bus there, took the bus back, showered, changed, took another bus, and I met my boyfriend for like a very late lunch / dinner. We got Chinese food and he paid, but it was 7,000 per person. And then we went to a cafe and it was my turn to pay. And the coffees were 4,800 won. Recently, we've been trying to like just have one drink and split it because I don't really need coffee, but a lot of times cafes will ask you to buy one drink per person, and that was the case here. So yeah, we I paid, and so I paid 9,600 won for coffee in one day. Hooray! After that, we took another bus over to Bampo just to look at the river. I bought a Nutella snack because I live off of chocolate and I needed something, and then I took the bus home, got a little jumokbap from my local place, and watched some Netflix and got ready for my boring Monday again. I'm not going to repeat Monday because it was probably the same as Thursday and Friday, but my Tuesday I actually went out to lunch with my boyfriend and it was actually really expensive. So I spent 8,000 won on lunch on Tuesday, and then afterwards we got Quiznos for dinner and it was 5,300 won. And I will add in my transportation in there as well, and that is the end of my week. So in total, if you take out the transportation, I spent $78. And then with transportation, it ends up being for this week $108. My transportation was actually way above average this month. So for the end of this month, I paid 58,000 won, and that includes going to Ganghwa, like going pretty far. So I would say if you average out like 50 to 60 bucks, if you leave your house at least once every single day, 50 is like a good goal. So now to find out how much we paid monthly, I have to think about the things that I have to pay every single month. So my rent is 470,000. My electric bill was 10. My Wi-Fi was 25. My phone plan was 20. My gas was 11. And am I forgetting anything? Nope, that's it. So every single month, without change, I will pay about $536 just to live. My water bill is included in my rent, if that matters. So in total, my estimate spending for this month was $906. Like I said, I think I'm in the middle of the road. I hope I'm in the middle of the road for what people spend. I actually just purchased a bunch of like pre-ordered food, so I'm going to be eating out a lot less. That's my goal, my boyfriend and I. And I could definitely make a lot more life changes to spend less, but I am like very comfortable and very happy with that amount of spending. I'm not going to add in my student loans. I actually had a question on Tumblr about how I pay my student loans. So yeah, I'm not going to add that in, but yeah, also think about that monthly. Now I want to talk about just like general prices of things. So I'm going to start with food. I'm just gonna change it to dollars at this point, but I'm gonna say $1 is 1,000 won. Just saying 1,000 a lot kind of screws me up. So yeah, $1 equals, just add 3 zeros after whatever I say. If you go out for Korean food, you are going to pay between $3 and $8 per person. But if you want anything else, it will be more expensive, except for possibly some Japanese, Chinese, and Vietnamese, and possibly Thai food might be of similar prices, but probably the higher range, like 7, 8, 9, 10 and up dollars. But if you want something like French or Italian or like American or anything like that, prepare to pay double what you would pay for Korean food. So a lot of time pizzas, regardless of the size, like they could be like a personal pizza, 20 bucks. A lot of pastas would be between like 12, like 9 to 20 is a good range. So just be prepared. Like Indian food is so expensive here and it breaks my heart. If you want to eat cheap, eat Korean. Groceries, vegetables are usually actually quite affordable. Spinach is so cheap. Other cheap vegetables are like any of the roots. So carrots, potatoes, sweet potatoes, any of the squashes, pumpkin, they're all pretty good. If you want to get stuff that's more exotic, shall we say, like asparagus, Brussels sprouts, sometimes even broccoli, cauliflower, you're gonna be paying quite a bit more. So if you just kind of curb your diet and then grab that asparagus every once in a while like I do, it will save your wallet. As is well known, fruit is quite expensive here. Bananas and apples are gonna be your go-to. They will be the cheapest thing, but I have found that I pay so much more attention to the seasons now, because where I grew up in Southern California, fruit was kind of always available and always cheap and always in season. I grew up in like the strawberry capital of the world, so the prices of these strawberries really kill me. But if you pay attention to the seasons and when it is strawberry season and when is it tangerine season, you will see a lot of sales. A thing this big of strawberries could be $15, but sometimes it could be $3. So you just really got to keep your eyes open. Also, if you do have a marketplace near you, like a market, not a like grocery store, definitely check those out because they will have better deals on fruit and veg. Drinks. Coffee can range from being 900 won and it will taste like trash to about $7. I've seen it get up to 8 and 9, which is terrifying. And tea is even worse. Tea ranges from about $4 to probably $7, I would say. And Americanos will always be the cheapest thing on the menu. So if you don't like black coffee now, start. Every other drink, add $1. So if you want a latte, add $1. Learn to drink black coffee and you will be happy. Your wallet will be happy. You're welcome. Transportation. Subways are always 1,250, so $1.25, let's say. Buses can range from being 1,200 to 900, depending on the bus. The smaller the bus, the cheaper it gets. And it does change depending on the distance that you go, but really it's not gonna get that much bigger. Unless you're going to the airport, you definitely aren't going to break the bank. You aren't gonna spend over $3 on a trip. Also, taxis start at 3,000 won, so $3. And coming from New York, where taxis start at about $100, I never thought to touch a taxi, but taxis here are really great, especially if you're traveling with one other person. I think the most I've absolutely ever paid was like $11, and we got stuck in traffic. As far as necessities and household items, there isn't a huge difference, at least from American standards, like toilet paper, laundry detergent, what else do you even need? Like sponges, stuff like that. It's all pretty much the same, so I don't really think you need to worry about it. Obviously, if you have a specific shampoo or soap that you use, you might need to fudge a little bit, but for me, I just kind of go with whatever's on sale. So yeah, there isn't a huge difference in household items. And so I will leave you with just a couple of tips that I'm also trying to live by in order to save money. Number one, learn to like Korean food. You don't need to go out for pizza. You don't need to go out for Mexican food all the time, even though I wish I could. Number two, save your cafe trips for the weekend when you can really sit down and enjoy them. On a weekday, I know that like running to the office with and getting a coffee might feel really great, but you could save a lot of money if you just don't, and maybe make tea in your office, or even buy those like really nasty cheap coffee packets if you really need the caffeine. I would save cafes for special occasions like the weekends, or if you do meet a friend on a weekday. Number three, walk as much as you can. Seoul is such a walkable city. That's how I got to know it so well. I feel like I've walked almost all of the streets in this enormous city, and it saves you a lot of money and you get to see a lot of cool things. And finally, try to make a lot of things at home. So like I said, I make a lot of spaghetti and like roasted vegetables for dinner, and I actually just ordered a lot of soups and some veggie burgers. I will let you guys know how they taste, but I ordered a lot of frozen veggie burgers that I can just heat up actually at my office. So I'm gonna be able to make lunch as well, which is really cool. So I apologize for how long this video was, but I hope that it was somewhat helpful in order for you to budget, and knowing that like a pretty middle of the road gal like me spends about $900 a month. Hopefully that gives you an idea, and you can think about how much you need to save before coming here. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. I'm actually about to go make the final pieces of my pumpkin and my broccoli, and it is so hot, so I have to go turn my air conditioner back on. It's really humid today. So yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. I'm actually doing kind of like a week in the life vlog next, as well as kind of what you should wear for summer here because it is hot. And yeah, I will stop rambling. See you guys then. Thanks as always for watching. Bye!